Well, what you want to do is, and when we go up here and I start planting, I'll explain it a little bit. And there's different ways that you can actually do this. Okay. Now, who's ready? To collect bait worms. All right, let's see how many worms we get on the thing. 50. Holy shit. What's this do? Uproot target. 50 worms? What? That's the quest right there. Let's go see about that quest before we do this. And then while I'm doing this, let me explain a little bit about my opinion, just on my infinite wisdom. And that's not really infinite wisdom because I can't even fly a glider. Let's try that again. What was that? Anyway, in my opinion, especially if you're new, all right, what you want to do is you want to go through, and if you hit the letter L, it'll bring up your quest. When you start out, you're going to come in chapter 1, okay? This is going to show up as a green exclamation point. There's two different ones. You got yellow, which is general quest, and some of these general quests will give you Guild Star as well. But I'd be very selective on which ones you get distracted on. Me coming into this and knowing that the servers were going to be unstable, because they always are, it was kind of like a speed run. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to do all of your race quests until you can't go any further. Which was basically, was this the one going over to the other place? Or was it this one? Yeah, the agent. Chapter 7, verse 6, I guess, where it tells you to go to, if you're on this side and you're playing Warborn, that is. Every one of them is going to be different. You'll end up going over here, though, most times to Hell Swamp in this area. Alright, and that's what it'll tell you to do. You'll also get some blue salt quests to go over and get charcoal stabilizer doing a cross sea. But by the time you get to chapter 7, if you do all of these and all of your Guild Star side quests, the ones with the yellow markers, you'll end up with roughly, give or take, about 62 Guild Star. Okay? Now that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to be a patron, which is pay to play, basically. It's free to try, pay to play. That's the way we always like to explain it. All right. So $15 a month to pay. This is the only game that I've ever paid to play. I wouldn't even do it with WoW. As sad as that sounds from back in the day. I couldn't dig it. But this game here, with all of the infinite, combinations of skills, classes, things that you can do, professions. I mean, each one of these little stations over here, you can just specialize in those if you want to. Just singles, If you want to be a jeweler, you be the best damn jeweler on this server. And you follow those paths, of what you have to do. Be a patron. Okay, that's step number 2. Or if you want to flip that, be a patron and then do all your race quests up until you get to the point where it says for you to go across the sea. All right, you don't want to do that immediately. If you have the means to and you have somebody with a boat, sure, go for it. Or somebody with a teleport that's already been there and they can get you to where you need to be, sure, go for it. I did. I jumped through people's ports, actually. That's why I've been to Aurora. That's why I've been to most of the coastline over here, just jumping through people's ports. Or actually I did in Cinderstone. And I started way up here at the tip of Cinderstone. And I flew across the coastline, literally flew from island to island on my glider until I got to Two Crown. When I got to Two Crown, I landed right here and then went over here. But that's neither here nor there. Don't worry about all that. That was pretty neat, though. That was an adventure on that one. All right. Then the trick is, here's the trick. The land is going to get sucked up super fast if the game stabilizes. okay? And we all knew this, the people that's been here done that. It usually takes about 2 weeks for everything, for the bugs to go away, for the login to be hella long, for them to see who's going to cheat and not cheat, who's going to AFK and abuse the system, etc., etc. So now that it's stabilizing, the people that are going to play the game and be serious about it are going to suck up this land as fast as they can. Now here in Rock Hollow, there's still a lot of land to be had, a lot of land. But just looking over this landscape, I can see plots popping up where there weren't plots down in this area here. Still in the back 40 back there, there's a big field out here that's not as empty as it was, but it's getting full. But there's still a lot of land to be had. All right. Starting a token resident, yes. What I was wanted. Did he take my worms? He took my worms. What the hell? I have more. I'm not worried about it. So anyway, you find you a plot. Now, in the midst of you doing this story quest, okay, over here, you're going to get some other quests from like the Blue Salt Brotherhood and what have you in a town called, if you're doing Eastside now, this is assuming that you're doing Eastside. All right, you're going to get a quest down here in Arkham in this little town that's going to send you on this merry little quest, fetch quest or whatever it may be. Okay. Once you get done with that, you're going to go from here down to Sunbite. You're going to do things here, and actually it may be here. I may be wrong. It may be in this little plaza right here. I want to say it's up here. No, it's up here. It's in this town. That's where it's at. When it's all said and done, in this little area here, you're going to end up with a scarecrow. Okay? That little 8x8 scarecrow that it's up in my property. All right? You start off with that first. And what you want to do is you want to position that scarecrow to, are we done down here, by the way? That's all he wanted? I guess, maybe possible. What is this? What do I do with this? Oh, rank up the community center. Maybe I'll get another quest on it. I'll worry about that later. I want to get this done. We'll do that last. All right. So what you want to do is, if you plan on having like a cottage or a thatched home like mine, if you're brand new to the game, okay, I would highly suggest, and people disagree with me on this, but if you just have to have a house, get you a small cottage. All right. I would even go so far as to make sure it's the 1-1-1 cottage. 1 stone, 1 iron, 1 lumber. Easiest thing to obtain. But if you get a a 1-1-1 stone wood, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, which is, I think, is those Oriental. Is it this one or the Oriental house that does that? One of them does one of them does the other. But I would get a 1-1-1 because that's going to be easiest to obtain. All right, it gives you the same room as a 16 by 16 scarecrow, and this is an improved scarecrow with a workstation on it. It looks like. Okay. Then you got to find your plot of land to put that on. Now, me personally, if I were to position my stuff in the manner in which I should have, I would have had a 16 or enough room to put a cottage and a thatch up here, or a 16 by 16 improved scarecrow when I get around to doing that, which I'm not too much worried about it. But this is the little spread that I ended up with. This guy right here, of course, could have shifted over one more grid, and I could have had my 16 by 16 in here. But no, now I am exactly that far from being able to put something down. But that's okay. That's my fault. I should have cock blocked this whole area. But I was trying to do the right thing while this area was empty. And there wasn't anybody up here. Like, nobody. You have those couple of farms down here, which still aren't finished. See? That was down there on the edge here. And you have these along the front line, which day 2 they had thatched homes. I call shenanigans, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. I guess it's possible. I don't see how you have that much labor. I guess if you pooled it between everybody or 25 alt accounts. That was what's killing the server. But I told everybody that's part of the problem, people getting established. All right, let's get these good worms. All right, so you find you a plot to where you can actually put it down. Now, if you're not understanding what I mean by the grid squares, let's just grab a seed. All right, see these grid squares? When you buy a home, it's going to lay out the same type of brick, or not brick, but the outline around the house that is to include your farming space, okay? And so that's where this is a little 8x8 that you're going to end up getting. Now, if you work your ass off, you can still make enough to upgrade later, but the trick is to be able to find land. Now, if you were to play and you hurry up, you could actually have this little spot right here and a little spot right there, right in front of me. All right, I wish I had another scarecrow to put down right there, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. But here's my thatch. That's my house here. Took much work to get this thing finished. Tell you what, solo, it sucks, but it's worth it because I did it. And there you go. When you place your house down, it's going to say you need tax deposits. Now, here's something a lot of people, especially new people coming into the game, don't even realize. When you find it, and why it's important to place your scarecrow where you want it, or to plot it out to where, like, say this whole space in here was empty, you need to be a nozzle and put it like right here in the middle of all of it, so you can't put something there, can't put something there, but you can still upgrade around it. All right, for later use. You just gotta stake your claim. All right. Now you're gonna need tax deposits, and you're gonna get given these deposit slips. Let's see. Nope, wrong one. Is it G? You're going to get given these right here to build the scarecrow with the quest. You're going to get the plans, the materials, and this bond to actually put it up. But then you're going to owe taxes later on. If you have enough labor, okay, these bond certificates, all right, you can actually make these yourself. All you got to do is this. See, I could do 5 of them right now, okay? So say I owe taxes on this scarecrow, I could use my labor. Oh, wait, you can't see me. Let me move this. Let's turn this and this. Let's turn that off one more time, and I'll move this up so you can see. But you can use your labor to make tax forms right here to actually pay your taxes to put a house down and or the scarecrow after it's due. Okay? A lot of people level up that way whenever they just want to burn labor. That's one of the fastest and best ways to do it, is to get your get that level up on, because you know what, donkey, you're in my way. Go away. Go away. I'm trying to do something here. Is because once you get this leveled up to proficiency 230,000, which is still a bunch, but you know, if you're going to go that route, then you can actually start making the actual real tax bonds on there, all right? And selling them. Is that right? That's right. But you can actually make your own tax bonds to, like, pay for this thatch whenever the rent's due. It helps you pay your rent. That's the bottom line. And I said I was going to get some more of these trees, didn't I? I need to go get some more of those trees, because I do want some more of those. I want to see how many of those let me harvest those. If it was like 5, 10, 15, 20, it'd be enough for a run. As long as it's enough for one run a day, I'm happy. I don't know if those trees will eventually die, but whatever. But that's the basics of it, okay? After you get to that point right there, the rest of it's up to you to learn. The rest of it. All right, that is the basics. That's not even scratching the surface of the basics, but that's enough to get you going. And like I said, I would highly suggest getting a cottage. A cottage doesn't cost but 15 Gilda Star. You will have a surplus of Gilda. And don't think, well, oh man, I got 60 Gilda Star. I'm going to go buy me 5 properties and I'll have, 60 spots. Because after you get to 3 properties, that are completed, your taxes go up significantly. A lot of people say it's not a big deal. It's a big deal, especially if you're a casual player or, you know, that's the no-lifer saying. That's a no-lifer saying that it's no big deal. But if you have a job, it's a big deal. I'm telling you. But to get started, that's what I would do. Looking back on it, I should have done that and just bogarted this area, because that guy that's beside me right here, he was, I think, yeah, he was the only one up here with a scarecrow. He actually had a scarecrow sitting there. He took that down and put this up, and I hadn't seen him since. He's got 7 stone on it finally. He had nothing on there the other day. But there's that. And that will get you going. And the cottage isn't a bad thing at all. I mean, it does give you the 16 spots. It's basically the same thing as an improved scarecrow. I'm really surprised I haven't seen a manor out here, to be honest. I should have blasted through and got a manor. I really should have. Maybe later. Maybe I can stake claim to another spot and then sell this property. Because after we get some gold packs going and we get our trade runs and we get a routine happening as far as that is concerned, and getting the this crop rotated, then I'll actually be going to scope out another section and getting into building up my Gildastar probably this next week. Hopefully there's still a big chunk of land out there somewhere, because if I can get 150 Gildastar collected, I don't care if I have to demolish this and take the supplies back and go relocate. I would like to put up a manor. But it's not a necessity. A thatch is just as good. A solo player can do very well on a 28 by or 24 by 24. Nothing in the world wrong with it. And there's no problem explaining. I mean, hell, everybody's got to learn. I don't want to have to repeat myself about 20 times, but I have no problems helping people out. And if it's something that we did cover or whatever, I always just refer people to the video on demand. The easiest way to do it. There's like 5 minutes after I say it, it's already uploaded and processed, and go back and listen to it. And a lot of times I'll highlight it. Like if it's something like this, I might actually turn this into a highlight and post it to the YouTube channel for those that don't know what's going on, and they're like, what's an arcade, man? I don't even know what's going on in that game. And I want it to be understood up front. I am by no means an expert, but I have done and seen a lot of things from experts and have participated in some very, very pro play in this game in the past. Like, we're talking 250. I think one time it might have been more than that. It was like, how many people do we have? I don't even know how many people it was, but it was like one group was 250 on a trade pack run, and then another time they said something about we broke a server record for the world or something one time. It was like maddening. I don't even know the number. Hundreds of people doing a trade pack. It was like an armada rolling through the sea. Like people saw us and went, okay, and turned off to the side. Look out for reds. Had the galleons out there, Black Pearl, all that good shit. About 75 clippers. It was stupid. Alright, now what? Replant? Now we replant. And we're going to go ahead this time, since azaleas are only a 30-minute turnaround.